And welcome to the Bullet Hole Podcast, powered up by Custom Built Firearms Manufacturing, right here at the Bullet Hole. Whether you're at home, in the field, or at the range, it's custom built for life. And today we have Amanda
Hello.
with us.
Thanks for
And
having me.
yeah. And Amanda is, how should I say it? Closely, well, she likes a guy here.
Just a little bit.
But no, how long have you been? We want to talk to you today about, I mean, when did you get into shooting? How'd you get into it? And we got all this carry gear here and all that type of thing. But where did you grow up around guns?
A little bit.
Okay.
Not heavily, but we definitely did spend some time out on like friends and family's property growing up, kind of playing around shooting, but never anything super serious.
And then, so what got you into it?
As I got older and I kind of traveled a little more, lived in a few other larger cities, I kind of felt more of a need to learn how to defend myself in ways that, maybe I can't physically do with my own body. So that was when I started looking into how can I get this skill under my belt.
Hmm.
And I kind of started looking for some training opportunities then.
And did that bring you here or did elsewhere?
Um, Elsewhere first, I
Okay.
had a couple of short one-on-one little training sessions here and there that I got the basics. I learned proper gripping and the basic safety
Hmm.
rules from that. Didn't really gain the confidence that I was looking for, though, which is ultimately what brought me here.
Awesome. Now that's and now how long has have a time span has that been since you started till now?
It's probably been about 2.5, 3 years.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
I've got to see Amanda shoot, and she's a great shot. Put it that way. So um, don't get in her way. Um, and so you got your concealed carry license, I assume.
I actually don't. That's something I'm
Okay.
working on. I just moved over to the Kansas side from Missouri, so
Oh, okay.
I've got to get my Kansas driver's license squared away, and then I'm on it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Understand. And you see these things are matching. You probably see maybe her favorite color might be, I don't know, but
It's up
one
there.
of them.
Yeah.
One of them. No, my wife loves pink, so one of her holsters is in pink. So I
Nice.
understand.
Yeah.
No problem. Um, what now? Was this your first gun that you bought, or?
No. That's actually the third one that I've
Oh
bought.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. No, so which one was it? What was the first one?
It was just a little Ruger EC9S.
And then you moved up or moved?
Yes. So after that, I got myself an upgrade and I got a CZ P10S.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
And then to the P10C.
To the P10C. Yep. Which this
Awesome.
is more of my fun gun. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Shoot that one for fun. The other one I carry.
Oh, you carry the P10S.
I do.
Okay, I didn't know that. I
Hmm.
thought this was your carry gun.
Nope.
Wow. So this is the showpiece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. No. And what draws you to CZs?
I've not shot a large number of different pistols, but I've obviously I shot the Ruger that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good fit for me. It was a little small for my hands, and it had a lot of recoil, and I just never got really comfortable with it. I've shot some SIGs, and then I started shooting someone else's CZ, and that kind of showed me like, hey, this is actually really nice. Like the trigger on it is super smooth, and it
Yeah.
obviously has recoil. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to no matter what you do, but it didn't feel quite so severe, and I think it's more in the angle of the grip and everything.
Now, I mean, for ladies coming into this, would you tell them to go and like here we have try? You can try before you buy.
Yeah.
Well, is that kind of what you would tell them? Was like, majorly go try
Absolutely.
before you buy.
Yeah, definitely. I actually like am on several different Facebook groups that are specific to women who
Awesome.
shoot, who
Okay.
conceal carry, and everybody's always looking for advice. And there's always girls that are new and they're
Hmm.
asking, what gun should I get to conceal carry? And they
Yeah.
they say I'm 5'5" and I weigh 130 pounds. what gun should I carry? And my answer is always that no one else is going to be able to answer that question for you. Like, go find a local gun shop that has guns that you can rent
Hmm.
um, on their range, and try out a bunch of different ones and ask their staff, because typically if they work there, they're knowledgeable, hopefully,
Yeah.
and they can help get you set up with something that will work for you regardless of other
And
people's
we have
opinion.
some great guys here they'll take time with you and uh, and make sure that you get the right stuff here at the bullet hole, and we have a great selection to choose. As far as rental guns,
Oh
handguns are only $10 to rent, and when you um, do that $10, you can, like, if you're it's that same day, you can go ahead and take one out to the range. And if that one you're not happy with, and you're like, and you still have some ammo out there, and it's still the same range session, come back in and you can try another one. But no, I wondered about that. Just try before you. I always tell people that try before you buy.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I
I
mean,
mean,
it's just like any other really big purchase
yeah,
that like you're buying a car, you want to test
exactly.
drive it. I'm going to buy a gun, especially if it's something I'm carrying on me every day. Like, I want to test drive that. I want to make sure that it's something I'm totally comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, when you're spending anywhere between $400 and $600, try before you buy.
Yeah.
Just trust us. The CZ is a great gun, though. This is a CZ P10C. If you're listening to us, well, that's what we have here on the table, CZ P10C. And Amanda, you said you carry the P10S,
Yes.
and that is a 12 round. I'm trying to remember how many.
So the C is a 15 round
Yes, it is.
and the S is 12.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. However, it will take C magazines.
Correct. Yeah. I can
Yeah,
take those big boys and put those in
yeah.
there too.
So, wow, that's good stuff. Have some Walker's game ears. Um, or well, no, that's who the company is here. These are razors. Do you like these?
I love those.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Obviously I'm drawn to a certain color here with our
yeah.
robin's egg blue. Um, but the price on those was fantastic, and
Hmm.
I have not had any issues other than when I forget to turn them off and run the battery dry. So
Yeah, it's the
yeah,
way it is. When battery, do they take
they're
C's?
AAA.
AAA. So yeah, you can buy a pack and you'll be good to go. You were pointing out these glasses.
Oh yeah.
Um, Tell me about
So I normally wear glasses
them.
daily. They are a progressive lens.
Hmm.
So when I first started shooting, I ran into a lot of issues where I was having such a hard time really kind of dialing in
Mm-hmm.
my targets, and through doing some reading online and kind of talking to some other shooters that are more experienced, um, found that it's very common with progressive lenses to have an issue because of the depth,
Right.
and you obviously have different levels of vision correction in the same lens.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my eye doctor and just had a conversation with her. I said, "Hey, um, I shoot a lot for fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I really want to make sure that I have something that helps me when I'm doing that." So she hooked me up with single vision lenses in these for my distance vision. They're Oakleys, and
Wow.
so pretty like resilient
Yeah.
material that they're made from. And then she also said, "Hey, I've got a special lens that's more scratch resistant, more impact resistant. That's great for people that are doing
Awesome.
athletics or, in your case, shooting."
Mm-hmm.
So I had those made.
There you go.
Yeah.
So see your eye doctor. If you wear progressives or bifocal, trifocal type stuff or anything like that, see your doctor for some great eyewear, if you will.
Yeah.
I've been wearing them since I was 12, so I've never asked.
Yeah, I never
So
thought to
I
until I read an article about
yeah
a girl that was shooting skeet, and she had, just the right angle looking up. She
yeah.
couldn't see it.
See,
So,
and I have single vision, so I don't have necessarily that problem. I have stigmatism in both eyes, though.
hmm
So when I look at a red dot, it really affects.
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have my glasses on just right, it'll affect it. But yeah, something to ask about.
hmm
Well, why don't we take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of this gear that y'all wear here, and I know my wife has and stuff too. So we'll get to that though here in
Okay.
just a second. All right.
Perfect.
Welcome back to the Bullet Hole Podcast. I'm sitting here with Amanda, and we've been talking about guns and shooting and glasses and how she got into shooting. And now we're going to get into a little bit about the gear that you got here. And there's several companies that that you can get this from. This is a what?
Corset.
A corset holster. Okay, that's why I wanted to call it the right thing. I'm not necessarily super familiar, so we'll just leave it at that. But so, and you can get this all different sizes. I'm quite certain,
Oh yeah.
and all that type of thing. I've seen that in my wife and all that. I've gone through that process with her. So
Yeah.
is this probably the one of the most comfortable ones, or?
That's been, for me, the most comfortable.
Mhm.
I've actually got two of them. I've got that one, and then I've also got one that's black, which I'm currently
Mhm.
wearing. And for me, that's been the most comfortable. I've tried some of the ones that are like a belly band that
Mhm.
sit really low, and
Yeah,
I wear a lot of jeans, and it just gets a little
yeah.
funky.
Do you not wear a belt?
No,
I mean, I don't want to get too personal here, but
nope, don't normally wear a belt.
my wife's the same way.
Hmm.
And she said, I'm like, babe, you gotta wear a belt.
Yeah,
And there was no talking her into it. No,
it's
I'm
just
not
not
wearing a
gonna
belt.
happen.
And so she worked through the process, of things, and she went to it's a hybrid holster with a Ulti clip is
Okay.
what is one of the things she wears, and that was her solvent to the issue too, and she's ran these as well. And then the shorts, say for instance, I guess if you're wearing a dress or skirt,
Hmm.
how can you
Yep.
display how do those work there?
So I wear a lot of dresses and skirts in the summertime. It's not really something that I was willing to give up in
Uh-huh.
order to carry. As you can see on the inside here,
Okay,
there's actually a nice little pocket where it just slides
covers
right
the
down in there.
trigger. Yeah,
And then you just Velcro right
gotcha.
over the top of it, and it just sits on the inside of your thigh. And
Hmm.
it's also got these great little pockets, so you can carry an extra magazine.
Or is that no? Does that poke into your legs at all or anything like that? I mean, is that uncomfortable at all?
It can be.
Yeah,
It's, obviously less comfortable than not wearing it.
yeah,
But um, I've just kind of adopted the
yeah,
mentality of if I'm going to carry and I'm going to really truly be
yeah.
prepared to protect myself or whatever in the sense that it becomes necessary, you make small sacrifices
Yeah.
where comfort is concerned.
Comfort. The old saying is that it's better to be comforting than comfortable.
Yeah.
I think it's how I messed that up. I know Clint Smith said it. I believe was the guy that said it. But anyhow, carrying a gun, I carry appendix for the most part, and
Mhm.
and that you have it's poking into like your gut and everything. I have a little bit of a paunch, so yeah, it pokes into your gut, But hey, it's either that or nothing. But
Mhm.
no, not nothing. But I mean, it's just a sacrifice, like you said. And then you have over here a Palm. I do recognize
Yes.
that. I know the owner, Alex Caruso of Palm Industries, and we carry this right here in the store.
Yep.
Um, how have you liked that?
Well, I have two dogs that I have to
Mhm.
take outside on the leash constantly,
Mhm.
and sometimes working from home, I don't want to sit around in this thing all day, and I want to know that I'm protected. My pets are protected when I go
Mhm.
outside, so I do carry this. I throw it either in the waistband of my leggings or my
Yeah.
sweatpants or whatever I happen to be wearing. Slides into a pocket on your pants really easy.
And it's your color.
It is, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, somebody was smart when they picked that one out for me.
Yeah. Palm Industries, by the way, come check it out here in the store. And over as you're coming into the store to be on your left hand side, there's a whole rack there. They're disappearing actually.
Not
But
surprising.
yeah, and like I said, I know Alex Caruso and the company there, Palm Industries, and they're out of New York, and they've done a good job in their recipe of spiciness.
Yeah.
He was at a conference that I was at a year ago.
Uh-huh.
Actually, a year ago this week. In fact, he'll be there. I'll actually see him this week. this weekend, and he purposely Chuck Haggard, who teaches OC spray classes and stuff here in the state and all the U.S. Certifies police officers and everything else.
Yeah.
He wanted to get sprayed in the face by Chuck. That was his big thing that weekend. I want to get sprayed in the face by Chuck, and he did with his own stuff.
That is insane.
And, everything's coming out everywhere. If you can imagine,
Yeah.
The stuff is serious. If you want a non-lethal option, ladies and guys as well, I carry Palm OC spray for a non-lethal. You want to give somebody a bad day, and they're going to have a really spicy night. And they're going to look like a fool with stuff coming out of their nose, eyes, everywhere. Yeah, spray them down with that. I think that has like a 10 or 12 foot burst,
I
too.
think it does, yeah.
It's good stuff. So, and it's inexpensive.
I think it's like $12 or
Yeah.
something. I could be totally wrong, but I think that was about how much it is.
What it is over here in the shop. Yeah. And so I would encourage everybody, if nothing else, if you're still in the gun, you don't have a concealed carry license, or you're not carrying in the state of Kansas, there is permitless carry, of course. Of course, we got to look at gun-free school zone. There is that issue. I want to put that caveat in there, which I'm opposed to, and I think I speak on behalf of Jim and the rest of the bullet hole staff. But anyhow, but if you're not ready yet, and you're like, I'm still working on the gun thing, and I'm getting kind of used to it and everything, get you some non-lethal. That is just a spray and pray stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is a good alternative, though.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And if you're out for Mexican and it just wasn't hot enough,
you got a little extra spice right there.
There you go. There's yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to, here in the next segment and just get your mind on how ladies think. I've been married for 20 years. Just last week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank my wife has put up with me for 20 years, so just she's the angel of us. But no, and how y'all think about self-protection and just the whole mindset. So we'll do that right after this.
All right.
Welcome back to the Bullet Hole Podcast. I'm Lyle Cadell, the media manager here at the Bullet Hole, and I'm sitting here with Amanda again, talking about guns and gear for ladies. And we've talked about kind of the gear thing and how you got into it, but I want to work off that and get into just, I'm a guy, y'all. Okay? I'm like one of those dense dudes, My wife would tell you that over and over again. And I was telling her we've been married for 20 years, and she'll still tell you I'm dense, and I'm learning, I'm trying. But anyhow, maybe one day I'll get there. But I mean, how do y'all, when you look at things like this? I mean, this is literally when you're picking up a gun. And my wife had to work through this as well. That I have the ability to take a person's life. How did you work through that?
It is a very serious thing. And it's not necessarily the easiest thing to work through. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are probably on that same page. We don't ever want to have to resort to that. No. I hope I never have to.
Yes.
But in the event that it comes down to myself versus somebody breaking into my house or trying to get me in my car or whatever the case may be, I know I want to walk away. I know the way our legal system works, there's going to be some hangups when I walk away. But to know that you can walk away from that scenario in one piece and that you have protected yourself from any kind of harm or protected your loved ones from harm is, I think that was the ultimate push. And it took some time to get there, but definitely am there now.
But it makes you feel safe.
It does, yes.
To have that, hey, I've got something extra. And there is something in the legal system where they take the disparity of force is what they call it. And they called it, in the gun industry, we call the firearm the great equalizer. And is that kind of how y'all feel about it? Is like, I mean, I mean, I know y'all can. My wife could probably beat my butt. You know, I mean, she's a good lady, but you know, and I don't. That's the one thing I don't want to ever make her mad enough to find out. So,
Yeah, better not to.
but at the same time, I mean, you know, there is, you know, where we're sometimes, you know, guys are sometimes bigger or you know, faster, stronger, whatever it may be.
Hmm.
It may even be another lady for that matter.
Right.
And you know, I mean, I think of, you know, terrorism stuff, and you think of San Bernardino, for instance.
Yeah.
And here was a lady walked in with a guy. You know, if you remember that case out there, and they had worked at the place, um, for the city of San Bernardino, and what did they shoot? 4 or 8 people. I can't remember how many it was. And then they took off and shot at the cops and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it was the ladies with the rifle out of the back of the car shooting at the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And so you never know.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. That's the reality of the world that we live in, especially currently. Everything is very heightened politically in our nation.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to be prepared when you walk out the door for just about anything to go wrong. Yeah. Things could go sideways pretty fast. And knowing that you have, you know, an extra tool and the skill set to go with it. It's very empowering.
How important is that for you? I mean, when like classes, for instance, you've taken several from what you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
How important is that to you to go on and on and on to keep taking classes or some type of instruction, not just as a lady, but as an individual, that hey, this is a perishable skill and I need to continue to hone it, rather than, I know you come to the range and practice.
Yeah.
I mean, just simple that.
Yep.
How important is that to you?
That's very important to me. I guess I can kind of relate it back to being a musician also. It's a skill that you work really hard to attain that. You reach your skill level that you're aiming for. And, you know, if you quit playing that instrument, you quit practicing piano, eventually bits and pieces of that are going to kind of fall away from your mind. And it's very similar to, you know, there have been times where it's been maybe a month since I've had time to get to the range, and I come back up here and my grip feels weird or something just isn't quite jiving for me. And I mean, that's one thing great here that is, there's been times where I can just kind of go out there and grab someone and say, hey, I'm kind of having an issue. Like, what do you see me doing something wrong? And like, they'll take 5 minutes to kind of help you out.
So what's your favorite target when you use a target from the range?
From the range here?
Yeah.
Well, I usually get the flip-flop targets just because it's a little more bang for your buck. But I like to shoot the USPSA targets the most because it's a little more realistic silhouette as opposed to just a bullseye. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That is really cool. It's fascinating to me. I mean, and I went through that same transition, of course, too, or not transition, I shouldn't say that, but that same thinking I had to go through years ago when I started carrying a gun. You know, of hey, you know, this has consequences coming out the other end of it, and have had to be in some hairy situations before, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there is a great fun side to it as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And tell us about. I mean, you enjoy coming to the range, and is it a Zen type thing, or is it, or I mean, it's like you know, Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday or whatever. And you're like, okay, I'm all right. I'm stinking. Nah.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's days when I get off work and, you know, I deal with the general public, which can be very rewarding sometimes, but a lot of times it's very challenging. So, you know, you have your days where everything goes smooth. It's great. It's fine.
Yeah.
Some days you get off work and you say, man, I could really go do some fun stuff over at the range. And for me, that's been kind of a really cool release of stress, because, you know, you just have these imaginings of like, I could take all the plates out of my cupboard and smash them on the floor. Well, I don't want to clean that up when I'm done doing that. So no, I'll just pop over to the range and grab a couple targets and get a lane and go out there. And it's a stress reliever and it's fun, and then you're also, honing your skill
Yeah.
by doing that
All at the
too.
same
So,
time. Do you have any girlfriends that, hey, we'll go out, come to the range? Or is it,
not a lot of them really
yeah?
have wanted to. I've had girls that say, "Hey, I want to. My husband's got this gun. I don't
Hmm.
know how to shoot it." And the invitation's always there. Hey, come
Yeah.
out, like Wednesday nights, especially. 'Cause
Yeah.
you get your membership, and
Membership.
then
It's free,
it's
ladies.
free for ladies on Wednesdays with your membership. And I think there's a lot of hesitation because not a
Hmm.
lot of women, I don't think, feel as comfortable or empowered to
Why do you
handle
think
them.
that is? What is the thing that's keeping them, or the feeling that's holding them back?
I don't know that I could put my finger on it specifically.
Hmm.
I know for me, initially, before I really was comfortable with it, a lot of it came from that whole, that's a really powerful thing that you're
Hmm.
holding in your hands.
Hmm.
And I think that there's a lot of fear associated with that, and a fear of the unknown, especially if you don't know how to handle it.
Hmm.
Um, so really for me, like once I learned how to properly handle it before I ever even fired it,
Hmm.
I knew how to hold it right and how to make sure, I wasn't going to accidentally shoot myself or somebody else in the leg or foot or something. Because it is, and it's very nerve wracking to be around something new that is, it is deadly
Hmm.
potentially if it's not used properly. I know I brought my mom up here not too long ago to shoot for the first time,
Yeah.
and she really did a great job.
Good.
But
Good.
at the end of it, she said, I'm not ready for this.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
something where, she's got to go home and kind of digest that and take it all in and
Yeah.
figure out like when she's comfortable with it. So in the meantime, make sure she carries some other stuff.
And my wife did the same. She kind of went through some stages as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then finally one day it was just all of a sudden, sort of, I'm gonna buy my own gun. Okay. Yep. She decided
Yep.
she was gonna buy her gun. It's her money.
Yeah.
I said, all right, very good. And so she did. She went and bought her own gun.
Yeah.
And that's what she carries to this day. So,
Awesome.
and so it was her decision. And she kept, that was where I was hard headed as a guy. She kept telling me, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Well, what do we do? Us dudes, we're like, golly, like, what is what's holding you up here, lady?
Yeah.
And I was impatient with her a little bit, and I'll freely admit, nationally, I was impatient with my wife. Okay, I had to learn, still learning, and finally, I just chilled out. I said,
Hmm.
okay, she's not ready to carry a gun or whatever, and now we do it recreationally together.
Yeah.
And we go out as a couple,
Hmm.
and so, but yeah, guys, please take from my advice of being dumb to just listen to your significant other. I know you have a significant other and around here.
Hmm.
We won't say who unless you want to. That's up to you. But and I know he's a patient guy.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
has he helped in that process and not been dumb like me?
He's been pretty helpful. For the most part, as far as waiting for me to do things in my own time, absolutely. He does give me the gentle, like
Yeah,
poke.
nudge.
Sometimes it's playful, which is nice.
Yeah.
But he shoots competitively, which is something that I have been really supportive of, and I love going to watch it. It's a lot of fun. We went to the match on Saturday, and that was when it was like, okay, well, when are you going to do this? It's time for you. You need to be doing this. You could do this. So that's be patient.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you were to choose, have you been through a class where a guy has taught and then a lady instructor has taught? Like,
I've actually
different ones?
only been through classes where I had male instructors.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So, what was your take on that?
Um,
Have there been some good ones and some bad ones?
I mean, I've definitely had some poor experiences
Mm-hmm.
where, you may have somebody who is a little overly macho and overly confident in their ability to teach things.
Mm.
Um, may or may not go with the gender. I mean, people
Yeah.
of all colors
True.
could be that way. So,
True.
um, but no, I've never taken a class taught by a female, and I think that that's
Mm.
just because I've not had an opportunity to yet.
Yeah. So if you were to say, ladies out there, if you're looking for a class and it's in, what would you say you need to watch for, or talk to some other people, or how would, I mean, because we offer all kinds of classes here,
Hmm.
um, but what would you say, how to kind of filter through that process?
Yeah. One of the biggest things, and again, it's personal preference, that I
Mm-hmm.
really found to make a difference in the quality of instruction is the class size.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
personally prefer a much smaller class
Yeah.
size just because you have more opportunity to ask questions and get some more like actual hands-on feedback during the class, as opposed
Makes
to
sense.
you have a really large class and maybe everybody has questions, but because of the size of the class, there's not time to get to all of them, or maybe people are less willing to ask those questions because they don't want to hold things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, class
That's
size.
I mean, it makes all kinds of sense. And for instructors out there, maybe you're listening or watching, take that in as a, kind of a data point, that class size. I know I work for some instructors and stuff, and they always want to fill classes because it fills the pockets. Just being
Yeah.
honest,
Oh
that's how
yeah.
they make their money sometimes. And then granted, there are we have some great guys around here,
Mm-hmm.
that and ladies that teach, and they don't always have full classes.
Right.
And I know Bill does a lot of, and Gary too. They do one-on-one tough type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Langner, our gunsmith's gonna be doing some stuff on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
That's really small class size type stuff for beginners and stuff. And so we want to help folks in that area, but yeah, I mean, class sizes is, and I think that goes along with any kind of learning sometimes.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
so.
I don't like, when I'm thinking back to college and
Mm-hmm.
the big classes,
Great big lectures
you
with
just were
hundreds of
kind of like
kids. Yeah.
sitting there,
Yeah.
especially freshman year. Your freshman year, it's always the largest classes. As you go on down the line. I've been out of school for over 25 years, and so, but as you go down 12 or 20 years, I should say, but as you go down the line, they get
The
smaller.
class sizes
Yeah,
get much
they do.
smaller.
It's so
Yeah.
funny, and but yeah, your first year, I can remember that it was, yeah, it was intimidating.
It is.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that makes a lot of sense. For ladies, what would be some of the things that, again, that you can think of that you need to think about? The guys, I mean, we're not thinking about that. You could just some wisdom that you can hand out to them, that you're whether it's for carry or for gear, whatever it might be. What would be kind of a final thought that you would leave with them?
I would say that probably the most important thing to keep top of mind, especially if you're just getting started, is to make sure that whatever you're purchasing, whatever you're learning, is tailored to what your specific needs are. So if you're somebody looking for a concealed carry weapon to have
Mm-hmm.
on you at all times and you've got kids with you or you have this or that, to just make sure that you're actually getting things tailored to your lifestyle.
Hmm.
Because you can walk into any gun shop and just say, "Hey, I want to buy a Glock," and
Mm-hmm.
unless you tell them what it is that you want to use it for and what your purpose is,
Mm-hmm.
they may just sell you a Glock, and that could be the totally wrong thing for you.
Yeah, and then you're stuck trying to resell a $500-$600 gun.
Might be
Yeah.
easy right now, but not
Yeah,
always.
yeah, that's true. It's very true, very true.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, very good advice. Um, Again, try before you buy. It's a good thing.
Hmm.
The ergonomics. The interesting thing. I'll just add this one little tidbit too. The interesting thing about my wife and I, I keep bringing up my wife, but I live with the lady. I love her to death. Um, is that I have small. This is strange. May sound strange. I have smaller hands than my wife,
Mhm.
and so her favorite gun to shoot of all time is in a full size M&P.
Yeah.
So now she can't carry a full size M&P,
Right.
but to go to the range, absolutely all day long, right?
Mhm.
But she carries no, I'm not going to disclose what she carries, but she carries a subcombat gun. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Um, well, I should say she carries a shield. It's okay. She wouldn't mind. I'm trying to think of, but I think of the CZ. I mean, it does have some interchangeable back straps there and some
Yep.
things. And it's a very ergonomic. But for me, I do have a Glock,
Mhm.
but my favorite, uh, well, I say that. Maybe I shouldn't say my favorite, but one of my favorites is an M&P grip or a 1911 grip
Yeah.
because it's smaller
Mhm.
and customizable. I do like the ergos on the P10C here and
Yeah.
the F. I tried the P10S here not long ago too, and I liked it too.
Yeah.
And your fingers didn't dangle out. I don't like that where you do the pinky
Yeah,
dangle.
you've got the hanger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't not into that. I like all four, on there. But um, yeah, it makes a big difference. I've bought and sold guns over the years. Just this didn't fit my hand, or
Yeah.
I my wife hates that too. But because
Yeah.
well, you just bought that. Well, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Didn't and and revolvers are another thing. Everybody says, guys take this for advice. Maybe don't go to the gun shop and think the little lady needs a little revolver because she has little hands, or she needs because she's petite. She needs a little revolver. Take her to the gun shop and shut up.
Let her pick out what she wants.
She said if you think that the color is weird or whatever, shut up. Just that's all you
Yeah.
got. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I will say though that I got a picture of this as soon as it came in with a do you want this?
Oh, thoughtful man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thoughtful man.
He's pretty
It's
good.
good. If you're a thoughtful man, don't shut up. Maybe, but in like things like this, the gear that we're talking about, the holsters, the corset stuff. We don't know.
There's different styles of
Yeah.
that too, which is what blew my mind is that,
So
they're not even all the same and we
yeah.
need different sizes and,
Yeah. So we just need to listen to you.
Exactly.
'Cause
Exactly.
y'all are the boss. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Well, it's been awesome to have you.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yeah.
Thanks
I
for
mean, and hope we can, and maybe we can come back, and the other party maybe can come back. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll work that out. We'll
Yeah.
negotiate and see how that works out. But ladies, Wednesdays, and today, as we record this, is a Tuesday. So tomorrow is free for members, lady members, here at the Bull Hole all day long. And our hours right now are from 10 to 8 on Wednesdays. So take that into consideration. And the membership is only $25 a year.
Yep.
So, man, free.
I know. You really can't beat
wow.
that.
Man.
Love a good bargain.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe us guys, I have had, I control our social media, and I have had guys actually, when I'll put that up about it, free on Wednesdays, they'll be like, when's the guys' day? My response is, come with your wife.
There you go.
Or your significant other. I don't know what to tell you. So, well, man, it's been awesome to have you. I hope we can get together again
Absolutely.
and talk about lady stuff. And we appreciate you coming in with all the gear and the gun, and wish you the best. And thank you for the work that you do for us too. I know she does a little work on the side for us here at the
Yeah.
Bullet Hole, so we appreciate that. But no, thank you, and hope you all have learned some things by listening and by watching today. And next week we'll be back with another episode of the Bullet Hole Podcast. For now, take care.